Now, based on our attachment styles, we can show up in different ways. And I encourage you here to know, first of all, we can have more than one attachment style. Second of all, you don't have to, stick to one. You can be fluid. You can move between attachment styles. And third one, please see this as information, not as something to shame yourself for. It's an adaptation. And the main purpose of the way I teach, is to dissolve shame so that you can start doing the work. Because we cannot do the work when we have shame, when we think I'm wrong because I'm feeling this way. So to dissolve shame means to understand the concepts and then to move beyond it so that I can actually see what's beyond it, right? So when we have anxious attachment, we have caregivers that were inconsistent in meeting our needs. Sometimes they were there, sometimes they weren't. Sometimes if I cried enough, they were there. Sometimes they still didn't hear me. This was unpredictable, right? When something is unpredictable, it makes me feel like I need to be hyper vigilant and to be in control. So you may notice that now you have a control issue. You may notice that you're obsessed with control everywhere, in every aspect of your life, with clients, with your partner, with how you're feeling. I couldn't understand why I couldn't let go of my obsession with controlling my emotions. Until I learned the science beyond this, I thought I'm making myself feel emotions. I thought it's my fault that I'm feeling anxiety and not happiness, because that's what you learn. Happiness is a choice. Oh, no, it's not. Because if I have emotional trauma, the emotions are going to be unpredictable. And anyway, emotions are automatic, right? Autonomic nervous system is automatic. Emotions are automatic. So there is a lot of unpredictability in how I feel. So I try to control everything. This is the cycle. It's unpredictable. I feel out of control. I try to control it. And so that's why I try to control my own emotions. The common belief here is that I need to be saved. So we have this pattern of wanting to be saved and this deeply ingrained belief that it's someone else's job to soothe me. It's your job to soothe me. If you don't do that, I'm going to really resent you. And when you notice that deep anger for not being met in those ways, that's an anger part. That is related with your anxious attachment. Common patterns here is this victim mentality, which, if you ask me, is one of the stickiest things to overcome and one of the hardest blocks to actually experiencing fast healing. Because when we are in this place of I cannot help myself and I see myself as powerless, because that's how I learned to see myself, I cannot heal. A creator, someone that creates their lives, has their power with them, right? Because how can I create my life without agency, without power? When I tell you that it's your fault, I give you my power. So can you see how deeply profound this is? Can you see how transformational it is to know that your power is not with you? So that's why you cannot heal. And you've learned all these things. You've learned that you cannot do it on your own. You've learned that, you don't have capacity to do it on your own. You may have those beliefs. I noticed one day having the belief that I cannot do it. And I was in this work and it was revolutionary for me to realize that that's a thought. That's a belief. It's not the absolute truth. It's the belief that I cannot do it, but I can choose to simply observe it. That was fascinating for me. Extreme emotional reactivity when your emotions are not met, and protest behavior. The emotional work here is first and foremost radical personal responsibility. You have to take responsibility for where you are. And I know this is tricky because many times the wounds are going to be poked through a valid situation. Let's say your partner actually didn't throw the garbage, even if you told them 100 times, and even if it's their job. You're going to have a reason, and you still have to choose to meet yourself and to process your emotions first. This is the trick with healing, and this is why I cannot tell people on the internet, you have to heal in this way, because we also have to learn our lessons based on the attachment style. Not that this was ever fair, The attachment style is not something that we choose, and learning the lessons through it feels like, okay, I have to now learn the lesson for something that I didn't even choose. What's the freaking point of that? I remember I was very angry when I realized, so I'm born, then I get trauma that I didn't choose, and then I have to learn lessons and heal something that I didn't choose, and through that I become stronger. Makes sense? Doesn't. If you ask me sometimes. And this is why I'm a very honest coach. I'm not going to tell you that, you're going to come to me and I'm going to tell you like, oh yeah, we have to heal because we have to ascend to a 5D dimension. No, sometimes it sucks to realize that you didn't get these things, right? So I don't want you to think that I glorify this work, but as always, it doesn't come from removing the pain. It comes from accepting what's happening. And through that acceptance, you're going to learn here that, okay, what happened wasn't fair. These are my patterns and I deserve emotional liberation. So I'm going to move beyond them. And I also wanted to say something else here, and I don't want to forget. So basically, early on, I wasn't met in the ways that I needed to be met. And probably I also had caregivers that got enmeshed with my emotions. That means I was feeling anxious. They started feeling anxious. It was a big mess. Everyone was anxious. I couldn't be anxious anymore. I had to suppress my emotions. I would throw a tantrum, whatever that would look like. How am I going to meet myself? Probably I'm going to be one with that child. That child is me. I am that child. There is no space. I am 8 years old again. There is no, no distance. This is why it's so important for you to cultivate distance between you and emotions, as opposed to someone who is avoidantly attached, who is like not even connected to those emotions. It's like the emotions are there and I'm here. I don't even see them. You are one with the emotions, right? So you need to create space. And if you find like nothing works, again, support may be needed.